Hey, what's up, guys? So I end up getting the win. I'm 2-1. So as you can see, I'm much closer to Masters. So now a legitimate 2-1 will get me in the M1. So I'm in good positioning going into next week. And let's just take a look at this ranking real quick because my opponent, I came in second, but my opponent, Mike CTX, who came in third, he never attacked me. And I noticed he had signed in a few times. For me signing, I just come and check, and for whatever reason, I guess he just gave me the win. His reasons are his reasons. But as I look back, he did have kind of a stacked defense with Superior 6 on defense, so maybe that has something to do with it. Who knows? As far as the true ranking goes, I moved up a bit. I'm not sure that this really matters a whole lot, my actual ranking, but what I'm able to see from this are people that are close to me. I know Updog said he's not too far from me now, so I guess we kind of swapped places because he was ahead of me for a bit. And another name I notice a lot is I saw Cat in the Hat. Yeah, there's Cat in the Hat. So it'd be nice to get the matchmaking with him again. I had matched with him. I had been in the matchmaking with him before and we didn't match. And Updog has been looking forward to us matching up for a while, so I'd like to get matched with him. So hopefully that can happen next week or the week after. So the main thing is I'm changing my defense. This is what I wanted to do when I got a little closer because I figured it'd be time. What I had been running was kind of a game plan to just run what you guys had seen for a while. And then as soon as I get to M1, change it. Well, this is close to M1, so I'm changing it. Fortunately, I have the Panda Pool. I can't say I have Mercs for money, but I have Panda Pool. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to run Panda Pool, X23, and Deadpool together, as you see here, and with Colossus. And this is good synergy. And of course, Black Knight is doing some things I'm kind of shocked about. And so I ran some attacks in Blitz, and I just let them run. I think I did 3 or 4, and I just let them play on 1X. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up a little differently. So I'm not sure how this will turn out, but we're going to have those attacks running probably on the right side as I go through the kits on the left side, mainly for room 1 because that's the room that I'm going to be leaning on. As you can see, I've moved my Spider Society to room 2, and I do think they're tougher in 2. I just think that probably the main counter that works on them in 5 that may not work on them in 2, I don't know for sure, is Cabal. So we'll see going into this week if that's the case. I think I only ran them in 1 or 2 trials, so I really don't remember. And because of how I'm combinating this now, I think I should be fine running this Extreme with Bishop. Not fine, maybe a better word is okay, in that the pull for what people are going to use on each room could be a little more intensified. Not a lot, just slightly. And that was my overall plan once I got close because my defense needed to be reworked here. And because of Mercs for money in room 1, I am going to stick with the out of time and dorm in room 4. And so what I'm going to try a little bit differently is what one of my opponents ran in room 5. Now, I don't know if you want to call this the Horseman, Gambit, and Quicksilver, or Gambit and Rogue, and simply Red Hulk, Angel, and Quicksilver. But the guy's team was not easy to beat. And so this team is very beatable. It's just that it drug down efficiency. And so that's my hope. It's like, let's just try this out. I do want to try it out for the whole week. So I'm going to try to stay committed to that. Just to see how it does so I can have some comparisons. So if it gets blown out of the water on trial 1, I'm going to stick with it for a minute just to see if it does better. If it doesn't, then it's like, hey, you gotta chuck this thing. If it's a disaster, trials 1 and 2, then quite naturally, yeah, I'll have to switch out. And then so Infinity Watch will be in 6. So this is the lineup. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to flip over. We're going to see once I go to this team for their individual stats if I can make a small window here and run the footage while we go over the kits. So we're going to start off here with Panda Pool. And Panda Pool, surprisingly, because as I was watching the footage, and you guys will see, he really does just revive every time. He's kind of, when it comes to the revives, a better version than Korg. He just kept coming back and kept coming back. And so I want to show you guys this here. He's pretty tanky for 3 red, 1.5 mil. So we got to keep that in mind. And his survivability, even though it was blitz and I had random teams coming in, I tried to stick with teams that had good synergy. As you guys will see, it was like a Black Order, a Death Seed, a Sinister Six, a Weapon X, and so there could be a visual and just get some ideas on how he could hold up as a 3 red. And a lot of those teams, if not the whole team, they were all G19 that this team was going against in blitz. So it was pretty impressive to see him be able to survive at a 3 red. And so I'm not too concerned with going over his speed and his crit chance and those things. I do want to just kind of comment on his abilities so you guys can see what the idea is to run them in room 1. Because there was some thought here to run them in room 3. As I go through all the members on the team, you'll get an understanding why. But as you're looking at the footage, you'll see that maybe room 1 will be just fine for this team here. And so I'm sure you guys have read this, but the main focus is because of his revives, and that's Panda Pool, that is, he's really great to put next to Black Knight. And so when this character drops below 50% health, clear negative effects from self, gain taunt, defense up, and 2 death proof. Heal all mercs for money. Allies for 10% of this character's max health. Now, it's only going to be Death Pool. It's only going to be Dead Pool. But the main thing is Dead Pool will get the assist now. And that's really huge because he gets the assist now every time. Now, something that I noticed is that as we start going through the mechanics, and it's not in their kits because I'm going to read X23's passive, and we'll probably look at some other parts of all of their kits. So X23 is actually the one coming in getting the triple tap. Maybe it's a quadruple tap sometimes. And then because I had it on auto, I couldn't always tell. It appeared that Black Knight was getting a hit. So I'm not sure if he was getting a hit or he was taking his first turn. But this team was really going in, combinating well. And the biggest part that I'm impressed with when you see the Panda Pool with Dead Pool is the part down at the bottom here. So we're going to skip to this a little bit and then we'll go back up. So gain 50% armor. Dead Pool is going to gain 50% armor. Gain 75% resistance. Dead Pool is going to gain 75% resistance. Gain 50% drain. Dead Pool is going to gain 50% drain. So just the 2 of them together is really a big deal when it comes to their stat increase. Now, of course, I have a T4 on this passive, and I think that's going to be really important if you do decide to use them, not just in war, but in any game mode, because these parts here is what he'll get in his passive. The parts that come below are for war. And I also did his ultimate. Now, I may end up down the line doing his other abilities. It just depends. But for the moment, I'm really happy with having these 2. So attack all enemies for 200% damage, steal 20% health from all enemies, and redistribute 200% of the health stolen itself and all mercs for money allies or Deadpool. This bypasses heal block. He's going to get the taunt, and it's really great how he gets the taunt, and he's trading back and forth with Black Knight getting the taunt. And what you'll see in some of the tougher battles is when they both get down low, Colossus is very slow, and that's when he actually gets his taunt. He's able to get to his turn, and he's able to get to his taunt. So they all 3 work really well together. It's not a high damage team, but they are putting in damage. So heal self and Deadpool for 10% of this character's max health. Clear all negative effects from self. And Deadpool applied 2 death proof, defense up for 2 turns, offense up for 2, and immunity for 2 turns on self and Deadpool. Now here is where maybe down the line, or maybe even this season, if it just seems to be a difference, because it's going to mostly be on defense, is the difference in the damage, which I don't know yet, because I'm not seeing significant damage from him, but I'm seeing a decent amount of damage on because the way the 1X moves, you couldn't really see. But I'm seeing a decent amount of damage from him when I do see him hit. So attack primary and adjacent targets for 220% damage, apply defense down, then heal for 15% of this character's max health, gain 2 regen, defense up, and taunt. And so the other 130% damage on primary adjacents, that takes him to 350, and it's just damage. The thing is it could be well worth it because of the healing, the additional healing, and when we have the entire team with all the assists going on. And so this could be a big deal as well. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. It is still just extra damage. But attack primary target for 200% damage, apply bleed, repeat this attack 2 additional times. This attack cannot be blocked. So that's his basics. The key to him is, of course, his assists. He is calling for assists, and somehow, and maybe it's just X-23 taking her first turn, but it appeared to be she was getting an assist. But you guys take a look to see if it looks like he's calling, and then she just runs in and does it after, after Deadpool goes, Pandapool goes, then X-23 goes. And in some cases, or in a lot of cases, then Black Knight would go. So it was just a chain, or if it was just the turn order. But they all got their turns in before other teams, these 4 other teams, which aren't great with speed outside of war, before these other teams took a turn. So let's shoot over to Deadpool, and we'll take a look at his stats. And so I was able to get a diamond on him today, so I jumped right on that, because I want to have at least 1 diamond on him. I figure that turns out to be a pretty big difference from... Well, each diamond is a big difference, but it's really a pretty big difference from 7 red to 1 diamond. And even on these older tunes, I like to have at least 1 diamond on them when they get a rework. So you see his health, almost 2.5 mil. You see his damage. And these stats, armor, resistance, and I think it was focus too, they all get increased with Pandapool. Pretty significant, like 50% and 75%. So I did his ultimate and his special. And so on turn, clear all negative effects from self. If negative effects removed, heal 20% of max health, 15% per negative effect removed. So on turn, clear all negative effects from self. And that's going to be pretty huge, because I think when I tried them against the Death Seed, I can't remember if Pandapool stayed blind or not, if he got it cleared, but definitely X-23 was blinded. And of course, Black Knight, it didn't matter, because somehow he just goes in and he's just doing his thing where retaliates. But before Deadpool took his turn, he cleared the blind. Now you'll see that I think he was going in on Nemesis and he missed, but it's just because he missed, and then he's getting like 6 or 7 on the chain, and then he's just hitting them, left and right. So it was really good to see that. Now, on an ally, Deadpool's turn, apply 1 charge up to a maximum of 5 to that ally. So the only one that's going to be there is Pandapool at the moment. And the revives don't matter, because attack the most injured target for 550% piercing, ignore taunt. On kill, gain regeneration. If X-23 is an ally, this attack clears all barrier on primary target and ignores stealth. And you guys will see this happening quite a bit, because it's a long video, and just kind of what he's able to do. So I think he's definitely worth some investment. I'm not saying take him to G18, but if you have teal gear, I would definitely take him to G16. Okay, and so on his ult, we have attack primary target for 230% damage, apply stun, 2 bleeds, Rebound chain to 6-7 additional targets for 160% damage. Apply 2 bleeds. So I'm not as concerned with the damage. That's why I didn't do his ult. I'm more concerned with the bleeds. So he's getting the bleeds out, and it doesn't look like I don't see at the moment that he needs to have this as a T4. And the same with his basic. Attack primary target for 240% damage, plus attack for 190% damage. Attack always crits if the target is a minion or has safeguard. So now let's take a look at X23. And so as you can see, I have a diamond on her. Her health is 2.2ish, almost 2.3. She's got 136k damage. She's going to get some boost from having Colossus on her team. And that's why I want to have another X-Men in there. And we'll get to his kit next. On turn, heal for 20% of this character's max health. When the enemy drops below 50% health, fill her speed bar by 40%. And so that's pretty huge when you have the 3 tanks in there able to get the enemy down, because she does speed up. And on this one, let me jump over because her speed is pretty slow. That is at 115, yeah, 115. But it increased 40%. And so once she gets that increase, she does take her turns, and she's pretty effective. When this character's health drops below 50%, gain 2 evade. While this character has stealth, gain 50% crit, gain 140% focus, and then X-Men allies gain 140% focus. And so on her special, attack primary target for 300% piercing, apply ability block, bonus attack for 350% piercing, apply 1 ability block up to a maximum of 3, gain stealth and 3 death proof. This attack is unavoidable, cannot be blocked, and gains 10,000% extra focus. And so you can see how deadly she can be. The main thing is she needs an X-Men to get some protection, because she can die pretty easily. And so looking at her basic today, it did make me think about maybe doing her T4 and her basic later on down the line, or in the near future. But for the most part, attack primary target for 220% piercing, apply heal block for 2 turns, 75% chance to gain 1 evade up to a maximum of 3. And then so 70% piercing, so she'll have 290% piercing. And that can be pretty huge because it looks like she's getting that assist after Panda Pool. And so I said, wow, even though I have her as a raider, if she's not, then she's just taking her turn every time after Panda Pool does his assist on Deadpool. So it's just the timing of it. But anyway it goes, this basic could be really huge. And so I'm giving it a lot of thought to put a T4 on this. So apply bleed for 2 turns to the primary target. Always gain 1 evade up to a maximum of 3. Now the evades are pretty crucial for her because she's not going to be built up like the Mercs for money. So you see her resistance and her armor are, they're decent, but they're pretty low. And so she's not going to get that increase the way Deadpool is getting it from Panda Pool. She will get the increase, or somewhat of an increase, from Colossus, and that's why he's in there. Also as a tank and to help protect the team. So let's take a look at his stats. And so Colossus is 3.6 mil health. He's got some good damage. He doesn't get a chance to hit often. And I think for room 1, I put him on Skirmisher because it'll if he does get a chance to go in, I think he has some piercing, but we'll cover that. And you can see how much more his armor and resistance are over X23. On spawn, if charged, generate 1 ability energy for self, then clear charge. Apply defense up for 2 turns to self and X23. When a negative effect is applied to X23, gain 1 charge up to a maximum of 5. While charged, when attack that enemy for 100% piercing plus 10% piercing per charge. Now I don't remember that happening, and then at the same time I don't remember X23 getting attacked a lot because she has the evades, and I think the only time she was really in trouble is when near the end, which was a long fight against Sinister Six, and that's the only time she died. All the other fights, they all lived through them all, fighting the G19 tunes. So on turn, if this character has more than 5 charge and is below 80% health, heal for 20% of this character's max health and then lose 5 charge. So the defense up for 2 turns is going to be really huge to give X23 some protection. And he's slow, but he does get a chance to get, in most cases, he does get a chance to get to his ult and his special. So in the ults, it's prolong the duration of positive effects on self by 3, up to a maximum of 5. Prolong the duration of all positive effects on X23 by 1 and up to a maximum of 5. Gain 2 death proof, gain 2 charge, up to a maximum of 5. And so here's the important part, because we don't have Kitty Pryde, but it says, if Kitty Pryde is not an ally, call a random X23 to attack the primary target instead. So since we don't have Kitty Pryde, X23 gains the benefits from Colossus as her tank, and Deadpool gains the benefits from Pandapool as his tank. So it's kind of like you have to have 2 duos, and these are really like the 4th and 5ths on probably each team. And Pandapool may not be, but probably he is. And so with that, then you need somebody really, really strong like a Black Knight to really carry it. And once again, this team doesn't have to win or hold a room. Hopefully they do. The goal is that they drag down the efficiency so that I can have a chance to win on my side. And so we'll look at his special here, Colossus that is. Gain taunt for 2 turns, 2 counter, and defense up for 2 turns. Apply 2 deflect to self and to X23, and 1 counter and 1 defense up for 2 turns to X23. Now his basic on Skirmisher, I was hoping that he would assist, but I didn't see any assists from him. So the hope was that having him on Skirm, that he would get some kind of assistant with somebody, just because maybe we'll call for it. But I didn't see that happen. So basically, if he does get a chance to go, which I think I only saw him use his basic once, this is what he'll do. Attack primary target for 340% damage, apply defense down for 2 turns, and he gains 1,000% extra focus for this attack. So he's not going to miss. So now most of you guys are pretty familiar with the Black Knight, so I'm not going to really go through his kits. I just want you to see where I have him with his abilities and his stats. And so Black Knight is probably one of the most important tunes in the game. As you're getting stars, you go from stars to diamonds, and I think we still need to go get diamonds on him, at least just 1. Once you get him to 7, even though Old Man Logan's going to do his counter, you're going to still find uses for him, and it's going to be very important that he be strong. So I do plan to put 1 diamond on him for myself, and I might put 2 on him even after Old Man Logan comes to the game. So that's it in a nutshell, guys. I'm really hoping for the best with this team, and as you can see from some of the footage of them in the Blitz, they do have some potential. And so hopefully they'll pull the big teams like a Superior 6 or Cabal or something of that nature, so that I can have a chance to go 2-1 once again. Okay guys, chat later.